Little tiny package has arrived. This one's from Amazon. And it's from Jacobs Parts. What could this be? I don't know. Find out in a minute. I see you skipping ahead. Get your mouse off that button. So what we have here is a little PD trigger for USB-C devices. So let's check out this little board out on Amazon. We have the Jacobs Parts USB-C PD DC voltage trigger test module. 9, 12, and 20 volts, adjustable power, 5 amps or 100 watts, Mark Type C. So this is your PD trigger. So in case you have one of them chargers that you like to test out, make sure that everything is working in them. You can trigger to various voltages, and then if you hook it up to a electronic load, you can potentially get up to 5 amps or 100 watts. And then the rest of the pictures here, and it has some LEDs here to show you the voltage rating that you're on, and it has all the rest of the components to trigger your chargers or power banks. Power all kinds of electronic devices with USB-C PD chargers and power banks. Test power supply capabilities. That's what I like to do. Performs real PD power negotiations. Supports up to 5 amps, 100 watts. Has the eMark chip necessary to unlock 5 amp output on 100 watt power supplies. Oh, maybe someday I'll have to get a 100 watt PD power supply. Trigger the 5 volt, 9 volt, 12 volt, 15 volt, 20 volt output. Not all USB power supplies support all voltages. Some will only give you 5, 9, and 12. So it depends on what kind you got, whether you get them all or you get some. It says the module just performs the PD negotiation and passes the output. So sometimes you can use these modules if you make your own cables to, you might have to have a special occasion where you want USB-C to, your regular 5.5 millimeter barrel jack, and then run something off 12 volts or 15 volts or 9 volts or whatever you want to use it for. And it has LED voltage indicators, retains settings after power loss. So it remembers whatever setting that you were on. So if you had it set to 15 volts, the next time you plug it in, it will return back to 15 volts. So be aware of that. So in case you don't notice or forget, and you plug 15 volts into your 5 volt device, you'll have the magic smoke being released. And it's rest of the criteria here. So now we'll go back to the and it shows here all your instructions of how to use the module, and then we'll return to the video already in progress. So there you go, little PD trigger for USB-C devices. And if you seen the disclaimer, this is for scientific and measuring purposes. So what they mean by that is whatever setting you left this on is going to stay on that setting. So let's just say you put this on 20 volts and you unplug it and forget about it and plug it back in, and for whatever reason you decide to plug this in to a USB-C wall charger, and for whatever reason you plugged your phone in, your phone's not going to be very happy with 20 volts being into it. So be aware of that. So for testing purposes. And there was also another item that I bought earlier from Jacobs Parts too. It was this little board too. This Quick Charge 3.0 board for laboratory testing purposes of wackiness here. So this little board from Jacobs Parts, you can buy these together if you want to. This is a Quick Charge 3.0. 5 volts at 3.4 amps. We're going to test that. 9 volts at 2.5 amps and 12 volts at 2 amps. So it's a Quick Charge 3.0. No, it's not getting any PD power or anything like that. So maybe in another video we'll test this thing along with other various wacky things to test out. Of course, it has some LEDs on the board to tell you what voltage you're at. So just for grins and giggles here, we will plug this into a board, a charger. So here's your standard Anker PD power. This is a 65 watt wall charger. And then, of course, since it's a dummy charger, it needs to see a load. It won't give you any output. So we'll have to hook up a dummy load to see what it's doing. So for this video, it'll end here to keep it somewhat brief, because I know that some people are not interested in some of the crap I do on this channel. But I enjoy doing this stuff, testing stuff. So in another video, we will play with the PD trigger. So it has your standard USB-C inputs, and it also has USB-A. So in case you want to use your USB-A to USB-C type cables, you can do that. Because USB-C is now starting to become mainstream now for a lot of stuff. I know for me, it's starting to infiltrate these little Rode wireless lav mic transmitters. They take USB-C. Same thing with the receiver. It takes USB-C. This particular camera battery charger, it's a dual, so it's USB-C and USB micro. And I have a couple other chargers. There's another camera charger that's USB-C, and I think my one gimbal is definitely USB-C for charging. And I think my big gimbal for the bigger cameras is, I believe its charger is USB-C. I believe it's dual. I think you can get double amperage when you plug in the USB-C and the USB micro to Quick Charge 18650s. So that's handy to have. And of course, it's always handy to have something that can trigger USB-C, because sometimes you're not always near a power bank or something like that. You might have a quick charge charger, or maybe a quick charge accessory outlet, and you might need 12 volts or 9 volts or something like that. That's kind of what I use for this ring light. Instead of being on a wall wart dedicated 12-volt charger, I got one of them USB-A triggers for 12 volts, and that's what I run the ring light off of one of these things, off a power supply. So it's kind of handy to have. And sometimes you can nowadays you can get these little tiny boards, these little things right here. These are dedicated voltage connectors that are USB-C. So if you got something, let's say you got a radio or something like that, it takes 12 volts. you know, instead of buying batteries for it all the time, you know, to keep it portable or something like that, you can buy one of these little USB-C dedicated voltage charge power boards. See, like this one is USB-C, and it's got the 12-volt trigger. So if you got a PD power or a quick charge charger that can support 12 volts, you can plug in. So you don't have to have adapters or wall warts or anything else that, you know, to keep it portable. So if you got something that's 12 volts or 9 volts or 15 volts or 20 volts, you can buy these little modules to keep a radio running like that. And I think they're good for like 5 amps or something like that. So you get quite a bit of power through a tiny little board. And then you can just use your power bank to keep your radio running for a lot longer than probably what alkaline batteries or having to deal with extension cords and stuff like that. So enough with this silly video. We'll come back with another video playing with various stuff here in the lab of wackiness. So we'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.